boy has ascended to heaven. Actually, dude.
I'm going.
No, dude.
Oh, fuck.
I pressed record, and now it's working completely fine.
What, really? We're gonna put this in the video if it does.
Yeah. What the fuck?
What's playing? Oh, because I was spamming the keyboard while I was doing that. Oh, fuck. Do we have to do that again now?
Yeah, we can do it again. Actually.
We're gonna have to do it again. Oh, wait, no. No, yeah, we're gonna have to do it again. Okay.
Fuck! Bloopers! No.
Alright, let's
Take
do
two.
Take
three.
Take three.
Alright.
No, now it's take 4, because we fucked that up too.
Okay.
Take 4.
Hey guys, Aslo and EQ here from EFA. Today we're going to show you how we made the Imagination remix that we released.
Preview. Anyway, back into the track though. So the whole arrangement's fairly simple. Like what I do with my tracks, I like to keep it as simple as possible. I color code everything.
I think we should start with the intro.
So we'll start with the intro, yeah.
So show them what you did with the intro.
So the intro, when I was first building this track, we'll just go to the vocals real quick. So what I do with these, this is the normal vocal. I don't think I actually, one moment. What is this? This is bridge 1. So I don't think I changed it at all. Yeah, so it's just the normal root note. Oh, root key, sorry. And then what I did, I just pitched it an octave low and put that
and just
underneath it. Yeah, so that sounds like this. It just adds a bit more emphasis and it fills up the low mids and the high mids as well.
Yeah.
So it keeps it full. Now the funny thing was, right, when I made this track, I made this bass line with it, and it's the most simple bass line you'll ever see. So literally, where's my piano roll? Right here. Fuck. Give me the piano roll.
There we go.
Alright, we got it. So, if you would not Windows, thank you. Now it's changing that. Alright, boom. All it is... Oh, no, it is playing, okay. I thought it wasn't playing. But anyway, yeah, it's just a simple progression that actually matches the chords as well, I believe. And it's just one note, no variation. It's that simple. But believe it or not, that sounded really good in my opinion. So when I made this, I showed Aslo the preview of just this 8-bar loop.
Yeah.
And that thing, I don't know, I was amazed with it. So I made this track actually.
Guys, less is more when it comes to tracks, honestly.
This took a total of 6 hours and 33 minutes. When I first made it, it was only 4 hours and 30 minutes. The extra 2 hours was when I mastered it and shit, so.
Oh, and we did, so if you do look at our release on SoundCloud, you'll realize that the sub is, like, overpowering as fuck. And that's because we were noobs at the time. We didn't know what we were doing, and our mastering skills were
This track was the funniest thing. So when we made it, I'm pretty sure what we did, we just put on all the everything. And we were listening to it, and we're like, oh yeah, it sounds good. Paused it, exported it, and we just chucked it on like that. That was the end of the story.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the vocal is just from the song. So throughout the track, there's no fancy chops with it or anything. It's just straight up the choruses, the breaks, everything that's in the song as it is. It's just been rearranged, obviously, and then given that extra octave lower pitch, just to emphasize it. So going on from that, of course, you have the bass line, which consists of 2 lethal layers. So I remember when I did this,
guys.
I just got this. This is like Nexus, but it's focused on more EDM sounds. Like, so you see, like, there's a deep house preset, there's psytrance, there's tech, all sorts of shit to you know to fit whatever you want. So these were just two of their stock deep house basses, and it's a really good plugin as well. It actually, in my opinion, it does compete with Nexus when it comes to the more EDM stuff. It's a very simple bass. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Moving on to, so that is our intro. What do we have here? So this is the build up. So the build up, it's the same thing except we take out the kicks, and we leave in the snares, and also the claps, and then we bring in the snares. and that snare is just being pitched up over here as well. Just to, obviously, that's what you hear in every drop. It just emphasizes it a bit more. So altogether, when you play that as well with the FX, I'll get into that in a bit too.
It moves the track a lot as well. Like, it just keeps it moving.
Of course, the FX in between just to add a bit more tension, of course. So you have your main rises as it gets to the drop, and before that as well, I have these little impacts and rises. Impacts just reversed, which just continue that tension.
It just emphasizes. Yeah.
So you'll hear that here as well. So before we get into the drop, wrong one. This one. So it goes from the crashes, and then it brings in another 2 reversed impacts. And then into the actual impact, it's just a light one, and then the rises actually start to kick in as well as the snare rises, the actual snares, and then a cowbell as well. So that's like a filtered in snare, and the cowbells as well, and then it just brings it into the drop straight away. So, of course, for those, so I use a lot of the producer school samples in terms of the percussion, so a lot of them are all just TPS selection from that pack. It's a really good pack in my opinion. I use a lot of the stuff I do nowadays as well also consists of those, as well as some other stuff, but that's alright. I use this snare fill in like almost everything.
Really?
Yeah, that's so what I do. This cowbell is different in the other tracks, but
so is that like a tiny build-up snare, or is that?
It's like a filtered in tiny build-up. So if you hear it there, it's like filtered down.
Never knew that.
And then it brings back up. And then the cowbells. I changed those cowbells, so I got a much better one now. But that's in every one of my tracks. It's like a little thing I do. And it just fills it up, so it adds more percussion to it. It gives it more of a vibe, and then the cowbells just counted in 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but he has like 4 plucks or cowbells before a lot of his drops lately.
Oh no, that's in every one of my drops.
Yeah.
It's just a thing I do. And then just a little, as that hits.
It's the tiny details that matter.
Actually, there's a little woo just before the drop kicks in. I thought that was cool. I was very proud of that.
Yeah, I like that subtle. As well. I actually included a woo in my summertime track.
I heard that.
Yeah.
It was much more high pitched.
I don't know what it is, but just like it emphasizes vocals, it gives energy, and like energy. Just gives it that more oomph.
So what I do here, usually I do this in all my drops as well. I won't put in my hi-hats, my offbeat hi-hats, until after a bar. And same thing with all the other elements of the track. So you'll see here the bass line is prominent almost throughout the entire track. And then of course you bring in the chords and then the melody. So what it sounds like, it's just the kick and the clap behind, of course, the vocals and the bass line. Then what I do, I put a gap in the kicks here. And then just straight back into the whole track. It adds the chords without the piano, and then you'll hear the offbeat hi-hats to give it more of a groove.
Yeah, and it's also cleaner in the mix because you're not bringing too much together at once, which is key, guys. And don't bring too much together at once, otherwise it sounds everywhere.
You're also, You're also adding attention between, like, actually to a listener. So, like, they'll have the drop count in, and then they'll hear just that, like, okay, that's cool, that's fine. And then, you get that subtle kick removal, and then it goes straight back into the whole track just in your face, and, a lot more energy straight off the bat. So what I do as well, I put in a small... I did actually the same thing here, except, of course, those 2 rises aren't there anymore, but I countered in with a uplifter and then another 2 impacts, just, very subtle. But of course, it gives it more of a defined switch. So it's like, it's noticeable, it's not just too subtle.
Transition as well.
Yeah. So then you go into this, now we hit the chords without the piano. I usually work on 2 monitors, so this is really jank for me. So this whole song is all lethal. I thought that was really cool. They should sponsor me, because there it is. Okay. So all the stuff I use are from, the house and the deep house. So this is just a 3-layered chord, so I believe. Alright, so that's the main one. The main one is just like, it's more obviously in your high mids. So if I bring up the mixer. Yeah, it's this one. So this populates kind of the whole mid frequency, as well as a little bit of the bass as well. I don't know what I do with the EQ. I got a lot better at it, but it does sound okay, in my opinion. Of course, I could remove a bit of the
This was made, I think, how long ago did
this was in August. Yeah, this was in August.
We're in October now, so we did make it we improved a lot within the last month, I would say.
No, we
definitely with mixing and mastering, that's for sure.
The funny thing is when we made these tracks, we're like, this is amazing, this is our hit.
We thought this was absolute fire, and apparently you guys did too. We have
this is the most played. This is 1,200 plays.
Yeah, on SoundCloud. So thank you guys. That was amazing. I can't
that
believe
blew my mind away. That this song took 4 hours. And it just blew up like that. No, I was really
and it wasn't even mastered right. And
I screwed it up so much.
Thank you guys. It means so much to us.
It is the best thing when a producer of like 4 months sees their track blew up.
Yeah,
1,000.
He's only been doing it for 4 months, and he's been making fire. And by the way, we have another track coming soon, so stay tuned.
Oh, we have another one. It's really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Pop a preview.
No preview. No preview.
Fuck. That would have been.
You
really
don't deserve
cool.
a preview. No.
So back to this though, that just populates the whole mid area as well as a little bit of the bass, for some reason. And then second instance, it's just a reinforcement of that. So they sound very, very similar. That actually has no EQ on it at all.
You put kickstart on that?
I put kickstart on everything back when I did this.
Everything. You side chain.
I side chain fucking everything. Not anymore though. I changed that. I stopped doing that. I actually put it on with a reason.
The stupid thing is, it sounded good.
It sounds good.
It sounded good. As long as it sounds good, fuck it. Honestly.
But I'm pretty sure Kickstart's on all of these. Kickstarted, yeah, it's on all of. Well, obviously it's on all of the leads, because if you have it on one and not on the other, then it makes no sense. But so together they work a bit more, makes it more full, more dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no EQ on it. They were just made a bit more wider, so more stereo width, obviously. And then, yeah, okay. So that's just the chords without the piano. So bringing it back to the whole track. So you can hear that melody for a second. It just flows good with it, and it gives it that kind of chill, deep house-ish vibe.
It's very groovy.
And then the melody kicks in, which I made in 10 seconds. I made one thing, and it sounded good, so I was like, I'm gonna rock this. So this melody...
Not to flex at all.
No, not the flex. I was just surprised. I'm pretty sure, like, okay, I can't say that.
It's very simplistic, but, I mean, look, if it works, guys.
I make
Go for it.
A lot of my melodies, when I actually do make melodies and not arps, they look like arps. They're just like, and this one, for instance, is just an up and down kind of motion.
Yeah. But it sounds amazing.
There's two variations of it, obviously. So that one's a bit more straight at the top. That one's got a little bit of a bounce. And
it's a very chill instrument as well, like just something very laid back.
A lot of my plucks will sound like this. You'll hear similar plucks to this in the two new tracks. So Airlock, you'll hear it. The one that's coming out soon, you'll hear it in as well. Obviously, the one from Lethal, though. This was just a phase when I got Lethal. I was obsessed with it, but. It goes to show that what you can do with one plugin.
That's
people
insane.
go crazy.
I normally use I used to use up to 4 different plugins. Now it's 2, mainly Nexus and Serum.
I'll use Nexus, Serum, Silent as well. Those are my 3 main ones now, and Lethal I'll bring in if I just don't have any ideas. But with one plugin, and this is a ROM plug, it's not a VST by any means. Oh, sorry, not a VST. Not a synth by any means. You can't make them. They're just like Nexus. You load up the sound.
Yeah, it's a sound bank essentially.
Yeah, and you can tweak those to your liking. Of course, there's a lot more options than there is in Nexus, but it's definitely good. But as you can hear, it's just an up and down pan, and it's got a constant kind of alarm feel to it.
Yeah, it's predictable, so it's easy to listen to. It's not all over the place.
So what I did for this, because it was too empty without anything here. So for instance, if you listen, I take these out. There's nothing going on. It sounds a bit more empty. So what I did, I put the first verse, I guess, yeah.
Break, I don't know.
The first verse, I just put back in again. So it's the exact same thing you hear at the start, the first verse, and it just plays throughout the duration of this drop, and then it cuts back in. It cuts back into the chorus, just at the end, and then a riser. And coming up right now, you hear the same chord pattern, but now the piano gets introduced, and that just makes that more full, and it also adds energy to it, and it's a much more. It's obviously not a real piano, but it's a much more livelier sound that it gives.
Yeah.
So going back to that now. Where's my? No, that's the wrong one. That is the right one. Okay, that's a Lethal piano as well. So that alone sounds something like this. Nope, not like that. Like this. And this was sidechained as well, as usual.
Everything's sidechained.
Everything is sidechained. What is going on?
Yeah, if you guys don't know the plugin Kickstart, and you produce without it, go grab it. It's a very good.
It's extremely useful, but a lot of the time now, either if I'm too lazy, I'll use Kickstart. Otherwise, I'll use the LFO tool by Expo and just do my own sidechaining. But all of them use the same Kickstart preset, just the one they give you when you load it up. That's also a good thing to do, to leave when you do Kickstart something like a whole. For instance, like I did it with all the chords. All these chords have Kickstart on them, but they all feature the same wave of kickform, of Kickstart, of sidechain. They all feature the same one so that it actually doesn't, variate. Because I wanted the kicks to stand out a bit more and the bass, obviously. So,
yeah.
Because the bass and the kicks are the main groove of the track, so I wanted that to stand out. Is that the right one? No, that's the one. Yeah, so it's just a third layer behind the chords already, and it sounds like something new's been introduced, but it's relatively the same thing, just with the new sound. So that gets teased a bit here at the end. Is it gonna play the whole thing? No, it's not, because I didn't. There we go. Alright, let's bring everything back in. So it goes back into the main drop vocal, melody continues to play, and the chords with the piano come in and just tease himself for a bit. At the very end of the drop, SFX wise, we
just to
I bring in
sweep it and then release like a down filter just to keep the track moving.
So it's just another riser, like very quiet. I don't want it to be the main thing, obviously, because it's just exiting the drop back into the first break. So 3 very light impacts and then a crash, of course. Most of these, there's only that one uplifter or riser, you'd say, and that's just a white noise that's been sidechained. I always sidechain my white noises. I just think it adds a bit of a groove to even the sound effects. And then as for the impacts, the same thing. I just reverse them and then put them into the actual impact. And that just gives it a bit more space. Leave it for a bar and then just straight back into the break. So it brings you into the second verse. You know how the claps get introduced? I don't think that was it. Yeah, so the claps get introduced throughout the whole verse. And it's just the bass line. And
very simple stuff, guys. It's just
if you look at the whole project, there's not much going on. That's just the second clap.
And that's something you'll notice as well. Once we do more tutorials, you see that tracks progressively get more complicated as well.
But relatively, I try to keep it as simple as possible. I think a messy thing just makes it hard to navigate.
Yeah, something you'll notice between us, like he's very prepared. He's organized. Once you see my workflow, guys, you'll be like, what even is this? Like,
his workflow confuses me.
I don't have names or anything. Like
I will color code my patterns, my sound effects, my vocals.
I'm just like I just want to
all
get
the samples and the automation. So and then same thing here. I'll carry that through. So the melody, as like with my mixer as well. Where is that? Keep forgetting this. There we go. So all my leads will be in like this light green, and they all got the same color throughout in the pattern for the actual instances themselves, and then the actual mixer rack, and then that goes into the arrangement. And then that's the same thing for the vocals, for the kicks, chords, all that sort of stuff. I changed the colors though. I don't like these colors anymore.
Yeah. I normally just keep mine like all shades of blue.
when you do it, because otherwise you just leave it the stock colors.
Otherwise I just leave it grey. It's just all dark and gloomy.
Just how it usually comes out.
Brighten up your FLPs, boys.
You'll actually enjoy it a lot more, in my opinion. I think
I don't know what it is. It's just like
that's the 5-year-old me coming out saying like
it looks more professional too. Like
yeah.
So yeah, pretty much the same thing.
It's the same thing, except with this one, the melody is actually present in the build-up. Yeah. It's just got a filter, I believe a low pass. At least from what I can hear. We're listening to it on the monitor speaker, so it's really not that good. Yeah. But from what I gather, I put a low pass on it. I can actually double check that. No, it would be this one. Okay, so put it there. Yeah, so it's just a high pass. Okay, so one thing you'll notice there, of course, this slowly builds up and it joins into the build-up. And right here, when the drop actually hits, what I do, I give it a delayed start. So it's just the bass line and the drop vocal, which you hear, throughout the whole track as well. So the same sort of bass line and just vocal. And then what will happen is...
Yeah. Also, if you guys haven't already, go listen to the original just so you can compare. You know?
This one is... This is 124. I believe the original song is like somewhere in the 80s or the 90s or the 70s or something. So it's just sped up a lot. Otherwise, the delayed start I like adding because it just adds more emphasis. It's like a build up after the build up, but very silent. So there's no drums or anything. It's just the bass line and the vocal. Then the woo comes in, and then we're just back into the entire drop itself, which consists of those chords with the piano, bass line, the melody, and then my hi-hats, claps, and kick. And that'll play for a little bit, just so you can dance to it or whatever you want to do. And then back into the first verse. Did you hit the well?
Huh?
Did you hit the well?
No, I was just...
Okay, I was gonna say.
Dancing.
So that plays through. And I believe, then it goes one last time into the drop vocals. I didn't know the rises or any sound effects in it, surprisingly. That would have been a good way to go into the outro, but anyway. This plays throughout, and then it goes to the outro.
And it's pretty much relatively the same thing.
It's the same thing as the drop, it's just slowly over time more elements get taken out. So you'll notice there's no more piano in the chords.
It's like this
Sooner or later as well. So there's a different vocal for the outro as well. It's the same thing as the drop, but it's sung differently, I guess.
Yeah.
Then the chords get removed, but because it's too empty, I added the melody back in one last time.
Sounds really nice too. It's just very like chill.
So the melody, because it's a bit less than the chords, obviously. When that's back in there, it still sounds like it's removing elements, but it added something, believe it or not. And then the bass, it just slowly filters itself out. And then
just a few more effects.
Just a few more effects. The same impacts as throughout the whole track, and then it just cuts like that. So overall, the project itself is just simple.
Yeah,
it just looks like that. A
Like,
lot of people have channels that consist going down to the fucking 70s and shit.
Yeah, like you
It's
look
a whole
at,
thing.
if you guys know Jonas Aiden, you look at his tracks, it just like filled to like the brim, dude.
No, like people like Ellis as well, Brooks, like
Yeah.
they all do the same thing. I mean,
No,
probably for a good reason, but like it's...
No, if you guys are new producers, don't be overwhelmed, okay? Like, you don't have to have a lot to make a good track, that's for sure. I mean, detail helps, but you don't always have to, you know?
Sometimes, like, one thing I like to live by is less is more. Like, I try to compact everything into as much patterns as possible, use minimal sound effects, but also, you know, enough that it's still relevant in the track.
Like, as long as it sounds good.
And one thing as well when I was making this, a good thing you can do when you start out and you don't know much about music theory, as I did, you can take a sampler channel and, and you can just put down, if you go into this little button here, the circle with the 3 lines through the middle, you can put in like the scale, so you can get a minor scale. The natural alien is the normal minor scale.
If you guys want to make some chords and you don't know anything, like you know
About
music
chords,
theory or anything like that, really cool tip is to grab a scale from the helper, put it into the pattern with a sampler, and then just like, I don't know if you want to show them, but like just get a piano from Nexus or something, or FL Keys even, and just like start making chords in that scale. And yeah, you could come up with something amazing. You don't even have to know anything about music. It's just trying, you know? Yeah.
So you can go into music relatively with no music theory. I had a bit of a... I was relatively in that situation.
Neither of us really knew anything other than like I knew a little bit of piano, but that's it. And what do you know?
So I knew absolutely nothing except for the fact, because I DJ'd prior to production 2 years, I knew a fair bit about EQ and the effects side of things. So just post processing I knew, but I didn't know much about actually creating leads or chords or whatever. So this is my 6th month now.
Is it?
Sixth or 5th.
You started...
No, I didn't start in August. All my older stuff is on there.
Yeah.
I started a bit ago, but I'm pretty sure it was like 6 or 5 months ago.
I think it's my 8th month now. Yeah.
But
so we haven't been doing this for long.
You can notice the quality in the music go up over time as well. Like,
100%.
100%.
I will show you guys how I made Summertime probably next. We'll probably do that.
Whichever one has the most plays, I'd say go for it.
Yeah.
And then we might do the one for the new one coming as well. I don't know. It's up to you if you want to do that.
100%. I'm easy.
But anyway, back to this. So the sampler channel, what it is, and also how you bring it up. You just click on plus here, and then you look for, in your sampler, obviously, you know, the sampler. You pull that in, you put it over here, and then what you can do with that, You grab a scale from me. So usually I use the minor natural, which is in brackets Aeolian.
Yeah.
Or the major, and then what I do, I will put it over one note. So wherever the root one is, I'll do, for example, here. This is a minor. So wherever this is, say I did this in, I think it's in D. Probably is in D. I don't know.
Yeah, it's in D.
It's something like that. Let's just say it's in D.
We don't even know. We don't know what key
I can't remember
in.
what it was in. But for instance, yeah, you drag the root note wherever you want it to be. So if you want it to be in D minor, you put it over D. If you want it to be in E minor, you put it over E. And you just copy that throughout the whole scale. And that way, you can go into your chords. Whoops. I wouldn't recommend making a sound first. Go in with the piano, because it sounds a bit more lively, and it will fit anything. A piano will fit anything fairly decently. And then afterwards, when you have an idea of what your chords or melody will sound like, you bring in your synths and whatever ideas you want to put on the table. So, like for instance, you'll see here, these all just follow wherever the lit up notes from the sampler are, which is why they all sound in key. Also, one thing I did as well, because the vocals were in whatever key this is in, I completely forgot. But whatever key this is in, the vocals were in, so which is why I built it around the vocals. If you have vocals first, what I like to do, I build it around it. If you do it after, it's still possible.
That is a good tip.
It's definitely doable.
If you ever use vocals, you want to build around the vocals, because the vocals are probably the most important thing in the track.
That's what people are going to remember the most. Like, if you think of any song that you know that's, on the radio or wherever it is,
any pop song
that features vocals, you'll probably remember the actual riffs and, like, the chorus a bit more than you will, the bass line or the chords or whatever.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
So if you have vocals on hand before you make a track, use them first and process them, do whatever, and then add your elements in after. If you don't, obviously, you can still make it work. You can get your vocals, and if you made a track in a key and the vocals are in a different key, you can just process them and, change them to fit the song already made.
Yeah.
It's just relatively easy. If you do have them on hand, use them first. That's what I can say. That's really it. For... There's no automation almost at all.
Yeah, the automation is common sense, to be honest. Just filters, high pass, low pass,
pitch, some volume as well, but
nothing like out of the ordinary.
Yeah, this is what that sounds like. I'm surprised this one of all songs blew up the most. I was definitely impressed with it at the time.
Yeah,
I still am, but not as much because looking at it now, I could do a lot more to it. But
yeah, I have you noticed do you ever get the feeling like once you release a track, you're like, oh, I want to do this now. I want to change it. I wanted to change this.
Yeah, after a week of it, I'll be like, I could have done this. I could have lowered out the
sub. So you do that too?
Yeah.
Let's be friends.
I'll look at them, I'll be like, this could have been so much better. But that's just the process of learning. It's actually good if you do that because then you're getting better because it's like, oh, I could have done this, could have done that. That's also knowledge that, whatever you're doing, whatever time you're putting into music, it's paying off because you're learning as you go along. But that's what am I doing? That's relatively it. It's just simple.
Also, if you guys want to check out our SoundCloud, once again, the link in the description. But if you guys want us to show you a tutorial on any of the tracks we've made thus far, leave a comment below saying what track you would like to see us show you how we made, and we'll do that. So yeah.
Otherwise, the main takeaway from this, I'd say, is you don't have to, if you don't want it, don't keep things simple, but try and stay organized. Organization is key, and
I think we could end up
quality over quantity.
Yeah, we could also end up showing you some techniques we use.
So for instance, when I started, as I said, I would just use the sample channel to make chords. And
if you guys want to, I don't know if newer producers or older producers will be watching this, but if you guys need techniques and
if
stuff
you want
like that,
something
let
to
us know in the comments.
Yeah, if you want to know how we did something or you want to know something in particular, we can go over it. For instance, I can show you how to make use of a rompler like Lethal or Nexus. You can make a whole song clearly from this as well, from just one VST. Mm-hmm. So it shows you don't need to have 15 instances of Massive and then 13 of Silent and 4 Serum or whatever. You can go crazy with one, and that's just pre-made sounds. When you understand sound design as well, it's a whole other thing. So the possibilities are endless. You just got to put your mind to it.
100%. Alright, so that's it, I guess.
That's it.
Cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned, subscribe. We're going to have some new videos coming out pretty soon.
Hopefully.
We've got some new tracks coming out, so once again, follow us on Instagram, SoundCloud. Stay tuned. We'll have...
If you do want previews as well, Instagram will, have most of our previews. So if you want to hear a little heads up of what's coming, you go there. follow us, you'll be the first to know. Clearly.
We also upload some pretty funny stuff on there.
Yeah.
And like just
us
EFA
being us,
having
yeah.
fun and shit like that. So yeah.
Anyways, yeah, Aslo, EQ.
Signing out.
See ya.